The DC Universe set in a sprawling Game of Thrones style epic. That's what Dark Knights of Steel is. And now that we've got a few issues out, today we're going to be bringing you issues 7 and 8 of a 12-issue series. Now this series is still one of my favorite storylines out there. I think it's one of the best Elseworlds story that DC has put out. I just wish that it wasn't being hit with so many delays. The art is beautiful and fantastic, and the story, it just keeps you guessing along the way. To catch you up on what is going on, Bruce Wayne has discovered that he is actually a son of Jor-El, so he's actually a Kryptonian, but he was stabbed seemingly by Kal-El with a piece of kryptonite. That doesn't make any sense though, because Kal-El shouldn't have been able to wield the kryptonite to stab Bruce. Bruce was then taken off by John and Martha Kent to their farm where he was able to recover. While Bruce was recovering from all of that and the realization that he's actually a Kryptonian, the Army of Storms, which was basically Black Lightning's army, and the Amazonian army are coming together to start a war against the Elves because they think that the Elves have killed their princes and princesses. So at this point in the storyline, Bruce is recovering while the armies are approaching the El border. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is Comicstorian. We take comic books, turn them into audio dramas. The point of this is so you know what's going on in the world of comic books. I get to have a lot of fun acting them out, and then you know what to grab at your local comic book store or what you can get at the digital retailers because they're doing a poor job of marketing, so we're trying to tell you what's out there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's get into it. The elves fly forward, their eyes blazing as they burn through everything in their path. Batman rushes forward, his sword drawn as he tries to stop them, but the Queen lashes out, knocking him to the ground. "This is our world now, bastard. Ours to rule," she snarls. Bruce looks to Cal. "Please, brother," he gasps. But the families turn their burning eyes upon Bruce, and he bursts into flames. He sits up sharply as the nightmare ends, gasping as sweat drips from his body. "Are you all right?" A voice calls out, and Bruce whirls around to see a green dog standing in the room. "Demons!" he shouts, and the dog smiles. "I think you might be seeing things that aren't there," the dog says, and John and Martha come into the room, with Martha checking his forehead. "It's all right, Prince Wayne. You're safe," John tells him, and the dog is joined by a witch. He is not safe. There is something inside of him, something that is poisoning him. He is dying, Raven tells them. Meanwhile, over at the Kingdom of Storms, Roz brings Prince Jacob to Constantine. Having been raised from the dead, Jacob demands to see his sisters. But Roz shakes his head, explaining that the prince can't be seen by the court. "Too many have seen your body. You would be burned. Trust me in this. I speak from experience," Roz tells them, but John promises Jacob that they will figure things out and bring down the elves as vengeance for his father. He finally turns back to Roz. "What do you want me to do with the children?" he asks, and Roz informs him that there are greater threats than the wars of the kingdoms. "You need not concern yourself with the children, Constantine. You made a deal. The Titans will be mine now," Roz says as he turns to leave. Meanwhile, back over at the Kent farm, Raven has worked her magic, pulling the sliver of kryptonite that was poisoning Bruce out of his body. He finally awakens to find the Titans standing over him, informing him that they voted on whether they should just let him die. "I voted to not let you die," the green dog says as it comes back through the door. Gar shifts before his eyes, becoming a green human once again. "Hi, I'm Beast Boy," he says with a smile and extends his hand. "Do not shake his hand. His hands are covered in the blood of our kind," Raven tells her friend. Bruce defends himself, explaining that he has never killed, but the Titans are aware that he captures their kind and imprisons them. "You make me sick," Raven says before the group leaves the room. Martha steps forward. "Well, that could have gone better, Prince Wayne. But you wouldn't be the first to attack others while denying the same truth about yourself," she says, and Bruce is shocked that the Kents have figured out his secret. With John explaining that when he fell out of the sky and survived was when they really figured it all out. So Bruce questions why they keep the Titans in their home. "To protect them from people like you," Martha tells him. But they are interrupted by Starfire shouting from the next room. The trio rush out to find that she has Richard Grayson by the foot and is holding him in the air. "I found this boy sneaking around outside," Starfire snaps. Bruce steps forward after she has put Richard down and questions why he has come. "All of the Robins have been searching for you. I found a crater with a piece of your armor in it, and then wagon tracks led me here. Have you been trapped by these demons?" Richard asks, but Bruce shakes his head. They're not demons, Bruce finally admits, turning back to the other Titans and apologizing, especially to Raven, who saved his life. Bruce turns his gaze and his powers to allow him to see through the wall. What is it? John asks. Someone you don't want outside of your door, the demon's head, Bruce says before turning to pull on his armor and weapons. But outside, Roz stands with his daughter. We want the Titans. Send them out and no one will die, he shouts, but Bruce pulls on his gear. Stay inside, all of you. Grayson will protect you. Victor steps forward, offering to fight, but Bruce shakes his head, turning to see John and Martha arming themselves. We weren't always farmers, son. We once fought in your parents' army, John says as he hefts an axe. Bruce nods and the trio step outside to face Ra's al Ghul. These are L lands. Shadow of Shades does not have permission to be here, Batman calls, but Raz shakes his head. The children are ours. A bargain has been struck, and Bruce glares at him. No bargain has been struck with me, Raz, he growls, looking back at Martha. Their force is hiding in the field. All are failed abominations in front of the Lazarus River. They are dead already. Do not hold back. The undead rush towards the trio, with Raz transforming once again into the demon Etrigan. As Martha and John fight the dead, Batman is roasted by Etrigan's fiery breath, but the smoke clears to reveal that Batman is unharmed. What? You are not what you pretend to be, the demon says as Batman draws his blade, rushing forward. No, foul demon, I am not. I am a monster like you, and I will not allow you, he shouts, but his words are cut off as Etrigan hits him, launching him through the farmhouse. He looks up at the Titans that stand around him. They're on the floor, Starfire notes, and Batman nods. Yeah, I noticed. The Titans once more offer to help, and Beast Boy suddenly shifts, becoming a massive dragon. Let's wreak some havoc, he says with a smile, and the Titans rush outside, leaping into the combat with the assassins. Etrigan, we'll try this again, Hellspawn, Batman shouts, now flanked by his new friends. His eyes blaze and he hits Etrigan with a blast of heat vision, launching the demon across the field. He turns his blazing eyes upon Talia, ordering her to take her father and leave. She finally relents. We'll leave, but there is more at stake here than you can possibly fathom. And you can't watch over the children, Prince Wayne, not while you're fighting a war, she tells him. After the fight, Batman removes his helmet, telling Richard that he can't return. I'm sorry, Grayson. I do not belong to the Elves. That has been made very clear, Bruce tells his young charge, but Grayson shakes his head, asking Batman to not turn his back on his people. You are the Prince of the Kingdom. As far as many are concerned, you're the rightful king. John steps forward, telling him of the first child that he saved, a boy who was from the land and the sea, who also felt that he didn't belong. But with enough humility and empathy, Arthur has become a great king, Martha says with a smile. So John steps forward, telling Bruce that he isn't a monster. You have great power, and if that power can stop a war, you know where you need to be. The armies have now begun to gather, the Amazons joining the army of storms. Far above them, the Green Man watches and cackles. It is time! Time for the kings and the queens to fall! It is time for this age to die! The Ring says, and the Green Man smiles. Finally! He cackles. Meanwhile, in the dungeons of the Elves, the supposed Banshee is leaning close to the bars. Hold still, Oliver tells her, flicking a stone across the dungeon, which breaks the lock on the mask that muffles her. She smiles at him. My thanks, stranger, Dinah tells him. He introduces himself, and she asks him how he found himself in the dungeon. I tried to save the world. I slew the God King, he tells her as he sits against the bars, looking at her. What are you in for? They think I'm a banshee. She explains that she has the ability to allow her to destroy things with her voice. Can you break these walls? He asks her, and she nods, explaining that she can't control it, and it might bring the whole castle down and kill them all. Oliver smiles. Sounds like you need help with your aim. I may be able to help you there. Back over in Hob Forest, Amanda Waller and Harley Quinn stand ready as the armies of Storms and Amazons approach. Hiya! Harley calls, waving her hand. She steps forward, attempting to speak to the sanity of the queens, telling them that no one has to die in the name of war. So what do you want? How do we ensure that all of these people can make it home? Harley asks. But the queens only want the elves. And when Waller refuses, she turns away. My army will see you on the other side of the forest, she growls. But Constantine refuses to let them leave. He rushes forward, hellfire in his hands, and he stops as he realizes that something isn't right. The forest is alive! He shouts as the trees begin to press in, vines lashing out at the armies of storms and Amazons. Harley looks at Ivy. I said I'd bury an army for you, Ivy says with a smile, and Harley nods. There are 2 armies, she points out, leaning down, kissing Ivy before galloping away with Waller. But the Green Man arrives from above, slamming into Ivy, driving her into the ground. With that, the forest ends its assault and the armies are able to continue forward. Keep your armies marching, the Green Man tells John. As the armies finally step out of Hob Forest, Amanda Waller stands with her archers on the wall. Archers! Once they're in range, release on my command. Deadshot glances at her. They're already in range, Waller. She glares at him. Wait for my command. Zala and Diana then fly past them. Hold your fire, Diana shouts, and the pair land before the armies march forward. Turn your armies around. It's not too late, Zala pleads, and Diana stands beside her love, refusing to move at her mother's command. Meanwhile, from his secret cart, John Constantine watches as Jacob stands beside him. What did you say to Zala before she killed you? John asks the resurrected prince. I said I'd make it rain in her lungs, Jacob hisses. He holds out his hand, and outside Zala suddenly collapses to the ground, spitting up water as she begins to drown. But Jacob begins to falter. John, I don't know if I can. I've seen beyond. I don't want to send anyone else to their death. Diana reaches for Zala, turning back to her mother's army. Who is doing this? Stop it! She's dying! She shouts out, and Hippolyta steps forward, preparing to finish the young princess. But the army is scattered as Laura Jor-El stands amongst them. Hippolyta looks at the queen. Laura, don't do anything foolish. If you love your people, surrender. We have your son already. And if I surrender, what then? The Amazon queen promises that no one will be harmed and that they will end this war without anyone dying. She holds out her hand. I give you my word. Laura smiles, taking the hand. Where's the fun in that? Her eyes blaze and she cuts Hippolyta in half. Diana looks up in shock. Mother! She screams out. And that brings us up to the Dark Knights of Steel issue 8. I hope you guys have been enjoying this Game of Thrones style thing, because this is probably one of the best things that DC is putting out right now, and I am insanely in love with this whole story. I'm sad that it's a miniseries, and I'd love to see this universe continue or just get more stories in this world. But what do you guys think in general? If you want to catch 9 and 10, we'll be coming out with that, I believe, next week, because I think those 2 are now officially out. So make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be seeing you then if you want to come back for that. Also, just so you know, the notification bell is how you know when we put out new videos. We put out a new video every morning featuring DC, Marvel, and other books, and would love for you to join our community. So please consider that. Also, we also have a community over on Discord. That link is down below if you want to come chat with me and other like-minded comic book fans. Anyway, thank you so much for your continued support, and we will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.